I really wanted to direct movies. I thought that was it. Like when I saw film production, television production, I'm like, oh, I'll go over there like and direct movies. Like this will be cool. But I love music. There was a radio production course. Shout out to Mr. Johnson, Doug Johnson at PCC. He was like, hey, well, you can go over and intern at KPCC. I was like, all right, cool. There was a woman, I think she had just come from like K-Rock or something like that. Whatever she needed, I was grabbing the music, doing everything but talking, running the board, learned the whole nine. She was like, you know, you're a good kid, but you're a little too urban. Try something different. I think that was like my first moment of like, nah, you're not about to tell me like that I can't do this, because I'm really doing everything on your show but talking. And so I went back and told Mr. Johnson, I was like, I don't know, man, if I'm gonna keep doing that over there. And he was like, well, we got like a small stick. There's a studio down on the sea level. It hasn't been used in a while. If you want to help me clean it up, we can clean it up, but you got to run it. And I was like, all right.
Well, I love the San Gabriel Valley.
Welcome to the My SGV podcast.
So I grew up here and I still live in Alhambra.
I was raised in between Temple City and Alhambra.
Eventually resided in South San Gabriel.
Our mission is to capture and share the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley.
Monterey Park has pretty much been my whole life.
Well, I'm proud to say that I was born and raised in the San Gabriel Valley.
We believe our diversity is what makes the SGV great. And no matter where you are from in the San Gabriel Valley, you will feel welcome. All right, SGVers, welcome back to another episode of the My SGV podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, we bring you the stories of the people of the San Gabriel Valley. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Oh, Chris, we just enjoyed a delicious lunch at Mr. Dragon, I think it's called, right?
Indeed, yeah, that was good.
And then I got to learn that you're a basketball player, so I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
So you could probably throw it down, right? Back in the day,
I could. For sprained ankles later, it is definitely I'm a jump shooter now.
Oh, okay. Oh, you still can jump, not a set shooter.
Yeah, I got a little lift still. I'll take it more to a set shot, but I do got a little lift still. Anywhere 15 feet, maybe even out to 18 feet. Okay. I'm pretty good money, Russell. I'm pretty good money around there.
Who did you model your game after?
Oh, I grew up in the Jordan era.
Okay.
So it was Mike. Just watching Jordan was like, okay, how does he do everything? I was studying him. I'm VHS tape recording and rewinding it back, watching footwork, before I even understood what tape was. Like I was that kid. That was just like, he's the best.
Okay. Well, I grew up in that era too, but I never thought, I may have played around, but that wasn't my game. That wasn't my game. You know a player, Zebo? Do you know Zebo?
Oh yeah.
That was my game. That was my style.
Oh, you were on the block hurting people.
Yes.
I love it.
Or out trying to outthink them because I'm not the biggest guy, right?
Okay.
But that was my game.
Oh, I dig it.
I don't know that he's hurting people, but he's just playing tough.
Zebo bullied the bullies, man. I love him for that.
That's right. Yeah, I like him. I like his style, but that's probably my game.
Are you a lefty?
No.
Okay, so it was different. Okay.
Yeah. But he's big and he had moves. But you can see he's trying to think in the post.
Yeah.
Right.
And he could pull it back a little bit too.
Maybe I could hit like 15 feet.
Okay.
Maybe like 18. You're it's questionable.
Okay. I'm on the elbows was my sweet spots.
Okay. Yeah.
I could hang on the elbows all day.
Well, I'm excited to get into our conversation. But before that, thank you to Paris Baguette for sponsoring the delicious pastries every week for our guests. If you haven't already, go check them out in the city of San Gabriel. Once you walk in there's an entire spread to choose from, and we're thankful for them and their support over the years. Say hi to Jason and Joanna for us. He's interviewed icons like Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mike Tyson, and Jim Brown. But his impact goes far beyond the mic. With nearly 30 years in big market broadcasting, and now a music executive with a global brand, his voice has shaped the culture both behind the scenes and on the air. He was one of the first to bring radio stations and personalities to YouTube, long before that was the norm. And while his media career spans continents, his heart has always stayed local, producing civic-minded shows on Monrovia's KGEM-TV, helping people understand government and creating access for the next generation of changemakers. Whether organizing events like House Party at the Park or launching initiatives like Dream Chasers, Career Day, everything he touches is about connection, community, and representation. Last year, he was nationally honored for his work in cultural diversity and helped bring the All-American City Award back to Monrovia. Please welcome to the show, Chris Loos. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That was a great intro. It's actually Loos.
Loos, I'm sorry.
But it's all good. I get that off.
You told me that at lunchtime and I forgot. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you having me here. Like, finding what you do online was so refreshing because in Monrovia, it's part of the San Gabriel Valley, but we don't have a lot of things there. It's like population 36,000-ish. So when I saw what you were doing and just how you're highlighting places and people and orgs and food spots. I love food. Just love the work you're doing, man.
This was maybe a year in the making. I think we connected a long time ago, right? On Instagram.
Yeah. Back and forth and just kind of sharing, things that I'm doing out there with you.
Oh, yes. You had invited me to a couple of events and I was out of the country at those times, but, and we finally got to connect. Yeah. And I didn't get into who you are at lunch because I wanted to save everything for the show.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm excited about that. But Chris, what's your connection to the San Gabriel Valley?
Man, so I was born in Pasadena. Mom worked at Huntington Hospital along with a lot of my other aunties and cousins, and then lived there till the 8th grade, went to school out there till the 8th grade, and then moved to Monrovia. My parents, grandparents bought a home in Monrovia and then high school out there.
Okay, so born and raised here.
Yeah.
And your ethnicity is one that was unique to me. I've not had the opportunity to learn about. Well, what's your ethnic background?
Yeah, so my last name is Loos, which is Dutch. So Dutch and Sri Lankan would be the two, with like a mix of maybe French in there somewhere and Portuguese.
Wow, that is quite a mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're from the Dina.
Absolutely. Dina and Monrovia. Like Dina was like my childhood, you know what I mean? And then like Monrovia was adolescence and growing up.
Okay. And what was life like for you back in Pasadena?
Pasadena was, I'm a kid, so it was really just school, church, family was probably my whole sphere of the world. Learned how to ride my bike so we were on an apartment just north of Hill on the 210 freeway. So it's like right there to the left, little apartment complex, which I drive by sometimes and I look at the driveway where the car's parked and I'm like,
it used to be
I
longer.
learned how to ride my bike there and it felt so long. And looking at it there, I was like, how did I not get hit? But yeah, man, it was great. I mean, Pasadena was, like I said, it was we had a lot of family around there. My parents were probably my grandmother, parents, and then my grandfather were the last of their family to immigrate from Sri Lanka. So I did have some like aunties and uncles here.
Aside from your family, were there other Sri Lankans here?
There were a few that aunties knew or my uncle knew or coworkers, but there weren't a lot. I feel like there's more now, and I think I got to know more over time, but growing up, I wasn't around too much that wasn't directly related to me.
Like, is there a pocket in the SGV?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Where is that?
I would say probably Pasadena.
In Pasadena?
Now, yeah, for sure, from what I've seen.
Was it a welcome move to Monrovia for you?
It was different. It felt, so this was like around 89 at that time, and Monrovia was far from Pasadena, or it felt far. And it was also kind of like, you're moving to Monrovia? Be careful. Which now, you say that now in 2025, you're like, what? $1 million houses and whatnot. But at that time, it wasn't that way. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Be careful of like gang life?
Yeah,
really?
For sure. Because like Duarte was Crips, Monrovia was SAs, Pasadena had Bloods, you know what I mean? But it was just kind of, it was a little bit sketchy out that way. Arcadia was nice.
Interesting. I never heard that about Monrovia.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in that environment? Did you experience some of that?
Yeah, for sure. It was different. It was very different because I was going to private school in Pasadena. So I was at Pasadena Christian School. to the 8th grade. Then we go to high school. I was like, what am I looking at? Kids are cursing? And kids are cursing the teachers out? And like,
oh, really?
I hadn't heard many curse words at that time, Russell. So this was all new to me. And yeah, it was public school to private school, or private school to public school, was probably the best experience for me, but the biggest culture shock I had ever encountered at that time. Because I didn't have a big brother or big sister. It was just me, first one in here. Whoa. And my parents hadn't gone to school here. I was at a private school just because the people at my parents' church were like, hey, you should send them there. It's a better education, which, hindsight being what it is, I would tend to disagree now. For the amount of money that my parents gave, they worked all day, man. Like, my mom was at the hospital. My dad worked at Transamerica downtown LA. They worked hard, and they gave most of it to the school, so my sister and I could go to school there. And to this day, I don't really see the advantage I received by going to school there. But I'm thankful for it. Thankful to see that atmosphere. And then real life for me was Monrovia.
How did you process that change? If you're still young, it's a change. Do you process that alone with your parents?
Nah, I didn't talk to my parents. Like, I didn't have they were working. So my grandparents were there, but they're farther removed, right? Like, they're here. They don't know much. My grandpa didn't want to come. He was like, I'm not moving to America. I'm going to stay here in Sri Lanka. He was a missionary out there, a pastor out there. And so I didn't really have much. Like, I had a couple friends that I had met in the city, one through church, and then he skated. So we would be out on the skateboard just riding. So that was kind of a friend I had. He was at the high school also. He was a couple years ahead of me. And my younger sister, we're like a year, 9 months apart. But it was a lot to process, man. That's a great question, because you got me sitting here thinking, like, I don't know. It was very shocking and figure this out. I was a real quiet kid too. I didn't say much. Anyone who grew up with me, like, I probably didn't start. My mom still trips out that I have had a career in radio and media. She was like, honey, you never said 2 words. I wasn't. I was just observing and would see it. I was younger also. I started high school at 12. So
did I.
Okay. So I was tall. So it kind of gave me the pass. I didn't get, I could kind of sneak in and not look crazy. But I was just quiet, man, and observing everything. It was a lot.
Yeah. And what did your friend group look like at that time?
Friend group at that time, my buddy Bill, who we would skate with, my friend Ron, who I met in summer school. I'll say Ron. He was my Indonesian homie. He was also family, immigrant family. So I'd ride bike up to his house. We'd hang out, play basketball, ride bikes. But I didn't have much of a network or friends, you know what I mean? At youth group at church, had a few friends, but it just kind of lived there when I would be there, and then that was it.
Were you developing like interests and passions at that time? Did you know who you were and what you liked?
I love basketball. I'm gonna say basketball was it. Nintendo had just come out, so like me and my buddy Bill would play Mike Tyson's Punch Out for hours, and you know what I mean? Super Mario Brothers. Trading cards, basketball. I'll say basketball for me was life at that time.
Is that sports club or is that like at the park? What does that look like?
Yeah, that was at the park. I tried out for the team my 8th grade year at Pasadena Christian. And so I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. My parents weren't aware of tryouts and how that works or anything. I was in the little corral group at PCS. So you know the loafers with the leather laces, it's like 2 holes on the brown loafers from Payless?
I think so.
Okay. So I had those on with some blue slacks and the white button-up shirt. And that's how I went to basketball tryouts.
Wow, okay.
It didn't work out. I didn't make the team. They probably looked at me crazy, but
did you just not have the clothing? Or like, did you have skills then or no?
didn't have the clothing, didn't really have the skills, didn't really know anything about basketball outside of what playing around at snack and lunch looked like with friends. It was, I didn't know what traveling was, double dribble, how to dribble, what a shot was, what a three was. I didn't know anything. I just loved it. It just looked cool. It was fun, you know, and that was it. Yeah. So high school made the team, but that was just more playing and learning the game.
On your own?
Yeah, and my buddy Ron. Shout out to Ron and a couple other friends that we had that.
But not at an organized like team, like teaching you. You're just like.
And there wasn't really much like at that time. You know what I mean? Like the AAU is a big thing now, but at that time there weren't, or I wasn't aware of it. Maybe there probably were, but I wasn't aware of any of that.
Were you still this shy, reserved kid at that time?
100%. Yeah.
And when you look back at that, do you know why you were like that at that age? Because you spoke the language, right?
Spoke the language. Yep. Grew up here, born, raised here. It was different though too in the house where, so they spoke Sinhalese to kind of keep things away from my sister and I, which they wanted. I get the intention. The intention was, hey, look, we want you to have every advantage of being American and speak English and don't worry about this thing. I don't think that aged well. I've talked to my parents about it, but it's like I didn't know where I fit in because of that.
Yeah.
Looking at me, nobody knew what to think. Is he Mexican, black and white, black? Is he, what is it? And how do you explain I'm Sri Lankan?
Yeah.
Or Sinhalese to someone like, what?
And for those who don't know where it is, where is Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so it's the little island at the bottom. India points down to it, the one island that's down there chilling.
Not Indian.
Not Indian.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah. Different. Food, everything is different.
Oh, okay. So even like this, knowing who you are in that at that time was probably pretty difficult.
For sure. And like, you know, my parents, it was church, right? Like I said, it was church and family. So family, being around aunties, big cousins, stuff like that, that was cool. But it also didn't look like the people at church and it didn't look like the people at school. So I think that's probably, as you asked that, I was probably looking at everything to try to figure out all the things, you know, of the clothes they wear, right? Like I didn't know what Nikes were. We went to Payless. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know that I wasn't dress fly until I was getting made fun of at school.
Too. Yeah. I distinctly remember that. I was all happy about my Payless shoes because they were new. And then someone made a comment and I was like, my whole world's shattered.
Yeah. And I didn't even know what to think. Like, I'm like, oh, you got Pro Wings on. I'm like, yeah, they're fly. Look at the Velcro strap and the, right? Like,
yeah. And then after that, it was, I wanted a pair of Jordans.
Yeah, for sure. Or anything. I wanted to know where they shopped. Like, where do you go? I only know Payless. I don't know where else, right? And going shopping with my parents, that didn't happen. It just came home and here's some shirts on the bed, right? Or my big cousin outgrew a few things, so I have a couple of those things too. And I wasn't really into that though either. I didn't know what it was like. I have to dress up a certain way and look a certain way. That wasn't really a thing my parents or my grandparents cared about either.
So did you fall into the trap that most kids that age do, where they dress a certain way to fit in, or you know, try to copy something because they think that's cool, or were you able to find your own way?
I think I was probably a balance of both, because I liked certain things that were popular. Like I'm thinking of like sneakers and the Air Max, the Fab Five, those all black ones, right? The Charles Barkleys, and having those, but wearing them with like church socks with the hoop socks underneath, or the rayon shirt, and just kind of making it look fly differently. But it was fun.
I saved up to get my first pair of Jordans, and they were getting ratty after a long time, right? And I saw my friend come to school one day with them spray painted. like not custom art design, just straight up like the whole thing spray painted. And I was like, cool, I'm going to do that too. I spray painted them silver. I spray painted them black. And I was like, it looks, but that's so, I don't want to use the term ghetto because, but it's like, that's what I did.
Do what you do. Yeah, for sure. So since we're now pro wing brotherhood right here,
yeah.
Do you remember the checkerboard pro wings that were like the Vans?
Yeah.
So those were kind of my go-to because they looked the least pro wingy, right? But same thing, I would color the tops of them. And as a skater, like I would eat through shoes, so I would duct tape on my shoes, and it looked crazy. But yeah,
what is the modern day equivalent for families for pro wings? Does that even exist? Because I think about like what a great concept. Kids are going to burn through shoes. Their feet are growing. Mm-hmm. Why not just give them something that they can just get through this time for?
Shout out to Stefan Marbury. I think he was on that early and got blasted for it. He was making those $20 shoes at that time. I don't know what now. I guess it would be like Walmart shoes or something like that, maybe.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was always excited to go to Payless.
You know what's crazy? I could still remember that smell.
Sure.
You know the smell when you walk into Payless and you're like, whatever that rubber aroma was, which is probably terrible and toxic, but I can clearly remember that right now as I sit here.
You're sort of still finding your way in high school then.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens after that?
That's wild, man. No one ever talked to me about after high school. So I didn't know.
Oh, what happens after high school? Oh,
correct.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So I didn't know about SATs. I didn't know about ACTs. I was playing basketball. My coach never talked to me about that. My counselor never talked to me about that. I had no idea. Friends were doing things and getting ready to go to college or go into the military or whatever, but I genuinely had no idea. And at that time, my parents still weren't really aware. They're like, okay, he's getting okay grades. He's not in jail. He's a good kid. But I didn't have like real guidance or a mentor to kind of walk me through like, what are you going to do after high school? So then it became, oh, it's about to be over. What's everybody doing? So I had a few friends that were going to Citrus College. So I was like, I guess I'll go to Citrus. And that ended up becoming kind of the move of just like, all right, I'll go there and figure it out. So yeah, it was Citrus Junior College after high school.
So you're not really connected yet with your passion?
No. I did get to play basketball in Europe after high school, which was cool. So I'm like, maybe I can get to the pros. Maybe, this thing can happen. Came back. And probably my ego was far more inflated than it should have been. Because, again, I don't know how any of this works, but I'm like, I'm a baller. Where do I go? Right? Like, how do I get on the Lakers or the Clippers? Like, where do I go? And so at Citrus College, I'll never forget, like, I was working a little part-time job at Parks and Rec in Duarte because I had to pay for gas, right, for the car. And he's like, yeah, practice is at 3 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I can't make that. Can we like rechange, the thing? Because I'm going to be at the park.
You told that to your coach?
Yes.
Wow.
I think about that. I'm like, Chris, you were wild, man. Like, but with no, it's just like, oh, I can't make that. Can we reschedule this? And he looked at me like, figure it out, son. And I'm like, oh. And so Citrus basketball didn't work. I think I played in the summer and that was it after that.
What country did you play in Europe?
We traveled. We were in France, and then we played lots of different teams. I'll never forget the German team that we played. It didn't feel like they were human. Those were the strongest big men I've ever experienced in my life. I felt like I was pushing against a wall, and I had never felt grown man strength like that. I graduated at 16, so just turned 17, went out there. Wow. But we had a great team. It was like the U.S. amateur squad. We were dope. We had a nice team.
When I lived in Germany, I was 17 at the time, and the U.S. military guys didn't want me to play on their team for whatever reason, right?
Okay.
They don't see me play. There's this Asian dude, whatever, right? And then there's like this battalion sports day, and then we can play with our team, our troop team.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm
Yeah, you're in.
now I'm gonna like get to play against these dudes, and then they wanted me to play on their team. I was like, nah, I'm good. But I got to play with these German dudes, and so the crazy thing about what I remember about these German guys was that they would drink like beer like right after the game. Like they would bring the like cases of beer, and I was like, this is wild. This is like like literally like the buzzer sounds. You shake hands, and then they're like, well, it's just part of the culture.
Yeah, yep, for sure. And that's the thing too. Culture in overseas, there's a lot of learning curve to that too when you're from here.
You're playing ball. It seems like it would be a fun time in your life,
For
traveling
sure.
and doing all that. But you're maybe still sort of finding your way in what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Playing at Citrus doesn't really work out. And at this time, you're still thinking that you're going to make it to the pros, or what is your thought?
That's, I think, the moment when I wasn't on the team was reality. Then reality hit because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm taking classes. What classes do I take? Business and finance sound like it makes a lot of money. I'll roll with that. Took a couple of those classes and I'm like falling asleep. I can't keep it. It's just boring me to tears. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this. Let me try graphic design. I can draw a little bit. I could tag. Maybe I could, do that. So I'm in these graphic design classes, man. I'll never forget this. I look over. So I think I'm doing a good job. And it was like a tree. I can't forget this because it was like, hey, here's a photo of a tree. Then they remove it, come up with your own tree, right? So I think I'm killing it, Russ, at this moment. I'm hit. And then I look next to me, and this girl, her name was Holly. I still remember this. Never talked to her. I don't know, you know what I mean? Looked over. She had a tree with a landscape with fruits hanging from the tree, with shade on the ground. And that was the moment I realized, man, I doodle and they draw. And now, like, if you want to talk about all the air coming out the basketball, like, this was the moment for me where I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I got no idea. And so what do I do at that moment? Well, Citrus, there's a lot of pretty girls here. I'm going to just ditch and not go to class. And I'm going to go hang in the quad. They got Miss Pac-Man and Galaga. I go over there and hang out. Not knowing the teachers don't call your parents anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden, I flunk out. And mind you, I know that this is like, my parents don't have money like that. You know what I mean? And I've been over here taking business and finance classes, art classes. And, art gets expensive because you got to get all the supplies. And, when I tell you, I felt that was my moment it was easily probably the lowest moment because I was like, dang, Chris, like, you're really blowing it, bro. Like, you've spent time doing nothing at junior college, wasting your folks' money, and now you have flunked out. And I was literally like going to my auntie's house in Pasadena and just like eating food over there when I'm supposed to be at school because I didn't know how to be back at the house with my family to be like, I flunked out.
Wow.
That was for sure a weird moment.
So when did you face the music?
I didn't.
I wish the audience could see your smile right now if you're just listening.
I didn't.
Okay.
Shout out to my big cousin Fred. So I'm at my auntie's house. I miss Auntie Janet. She was the auntie that you go over there. Honey, you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry, Auntie. Okay, come on, sit down. Make some rice. She always has some curry or something. And always, for whatever reason, I don't know if this was like a Sri Lankan thing or what, but it would be like 7-Up or Sprite, but never in the fridge. It was like room temperature Sprite. No, not even Sprite. It was like 7-Up. It was always 7-Up. And it was flat. And it was room temperature. Maybe that was just my auntie's house thing. But she would always make food, and I would be over there. And my big cousin was like, hey, you know those catalogs they send out like for the classes or whatnot? So there was one for Pasadena City College, and it was telecommunications. So it was like radio broadcast journalism, television production. I'm like, oh, that seems cool. Like, all right, maybe I'll try that. And at that time, now music is kicking in for me, like of hip hop, and like 92.3 The Beat is the radio station here in Los Angeles. I'm listening to Theo. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. He's talking to all the artists. He got the cool, deep voice. This dude is cool. Like, you know.
You thought he was black?
100%. Right? Like, of course, every stereotypical, right, thought that could possibly, yeah. And so I'm listening, but that was like, okay, well, maybe I could learn, right, how to do that. Mind you, I'm still a shy kid. I'd kind of probably come out by like my junior, senior year, thanks to basketball. Basketball truly gave me like my confidence. And so I went back to my parents and was like, hey, there's these other classes here at Pasadena City College. Can you help with that? And they're like, okay, cool. So I kind of got to side skirt the failure, which I eventually fessed up and told them later. But
I mean, just opening your eyes to something else that was possible, like, intrigued you.
Yeah. I'd never seen anything like that. So my family, medical field, like Huntington Hospital. My mom wanted me to be an EMT. She's like, honey, just be an EMT. You don't have to be in the hospital. You could be out. And I'm like, but they're the first ones at a scene, right? When something happens, she's like, yeah. Like, so somebody could be missing an arm or a leg or something like that and be just blood. Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't do good, man, with blood and stuff like that. So couldn't do the medical field. And that was really all my parents, you know, or I'll say my mom. My dad was in pension, which I didn't understand at all, or finance or any of that. And my grandpa was a security guard at Fedco here in Pasadena. And what I did see, though, through my grandpa, which I see now, like how this probably impacted me way more as an adult than I realized, was as the security guard over there, he just worked his way up to become a manager. And then he ended up hiring my other uncle, Artie, Uncle Sidney, John, Royston, Adrian, like a bunch of other family members. So I'm like, oh, that's what you do. You get the gig and you bring the homies. Like, so I didn't know too many careers, if you would, outside of anything medical field.
I've been meaning to ask you this. You speak well. You're very articulate, and your thoughts are well formulated. But I can detect there's like this hip hop twang, if you will. Have you gotten that before? Like that there's this like way of you that you speak. That's I can hear like hip hop in there.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, you never heard that before? No one's ever said that to you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think it is.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
It's like it's familiar because it's an era that I am familiar with. Right. Okay, so you said the music was also kicking in at this time.
Yeah.
And who are those artists?
My first cassettes, it's a little wild. Das Effects, MC Hammer, and Paula Abdul.
Yes, MC Hammer. Yes, I forgot Paula Abdul too.
Right, like, so those were the three. However, so then those were my cassettes. Then entered the Discman era, right? Okay. So this is right before we're going to Europe. And I got my first Discman. I'm like, I don't have any CDs. So I went and grabbed 2 CDs. I had $30. Dang, that's funny. I remember the number. I had $30, and I got Outkast, Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Music, and Babyface for the Cool in You. And those were the 2 CDs I lived on that entire time.
Was that like $12.99 for the album?
Yeah.
At that time, probably something around there?
Yeah, I think it was.
And that was pretty expensive, right? You had to choose between the album and the singles.
For sure. I was a single dude. $2.99, $2.49, $3, baby. Yeah.
And you're like checking to see, like, is there enough songs in here to justify?
Does it have at least an instrumental and a B-side? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So these are shaping your interest in music at that time.
100%. 100%. And then it was like heavy, like, you know, so my other big cousin, it was K-Day, was 1580 AM out here in LA. And it came on clear at night. Greg Mack was on there, the Mix Masters, the K-Day Mix Masters, Tony G, Julio G, all of them. So that's what kind of was like hip hop radio. My first exposure of like, whoa, because otherwise it was just pop music, Kiss FM. And hearing that was pretty cool. And that was like early rap entry stuff. My big cousins were more into that than I was. But then 90s, DJ Quick, Snoop Dogg, that was, yeah.
So now you're going to school for communications at PCC.
Yeah.
And where does the idea of like what you want to do, or like this, you know, idea of what you can do come into your mind?
I wanted to direct
radio shows?
No, movies.
Movies.
I really wanted to direct movies. Like, I thought that was it. Like, when I saw like film production, television production, I'm like, oh, I'll go over there like and direct movies. Like, this will be cool. But I love music, and there was a radio production course. Shout out to Mr. Johnson, Doug Johnson, who was there at PCC. And he was like, hey, well, you can go over and intern at KPCC, which is like the NPR over there. I was like, all right, cool. Get in over there. There was a woman who was working there. I think she had just come from like K-Rock or something like that. And so I was like on it, whatever she needed. I was grabbing the music, doing everything but talking, running the board, learned the whole nine. So she's like, okay, we'll start working on your own, you know, stuff and your air check. So that's like where you just like record fake breaks, basically. Hey, this is Chris Loos. I'm here. Right? Like, so, and then I'm playing it for her, and she's like, she was like, you know, you're a good kid, but you're a little too urban. You should probably, you know, try something different. And I didn't know what urban meant, right? And I was like, what does that mean? Like, I really think I could do this. And I think that was like my first moment of like, nah, you're not about to tell me like that I can't do this. Because I'm really doing everything on your show but talking.
Yeah.
Nah. And so I went back and told Mr. Johnson, I was like, I don't know, man, if I'm going to keep doing that over there. And he was like, well, we got like a small stick. There's a studio down on the sea level. If we can, it hasn't been used in a while. If you want to help me clean it up, we can clean it up, but you got to run it. And I was like, all right. Go down there, turn the lights on. It's dusty. There was like one turntable, a DAT player, a board, dirty glass, and it was a cool setup, but it was just old and like unused. And it was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll do it. And through that time, I met a friend, Tawala, at a radio production class. He was at the Beat. He was working with Julio G on the night show. He was like, hey, man, I'm going to get a gig moving into the music department. Julio's going to need a producer. You want to come over here and see what's up? I'm like, yeah, for sure. So he's like, I don't know how it's going to work. You know what I mean? Like, if he likes you, cool. All right, cool. That was like all I needed, Russ. I just needed my in at the station I wanted to be at, you know? And yeah, I'm forever thankful for PCC, Pasadena City College, for being that place where we were able to network, because then I was interning at the Beat, starting up this little local stick, right? Kind of gave me the coolest show because I had all these clean edits while I was interning.
Yeah.
But yeah, he allowed me to run that. And then I had like a friend who did dance music, a friend that did rock music. So I was like, hey, you got music to come in and play? They're like, yeah, cool. So we just kind of put that station together.
And you're enjoying this at this time?
Oh, love it. Love it. Because all the classes made sense for me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get a degree. It was a certification in broadcast journalism, television production, radio production.
Awesome. Oh, Chris, we ask each guest to bring an item of significance with them. What did you bring with you today?
Yeah. Do I pull it up right now?
Yeah. If you show this camera, please.
So this one right here?
Oh, right here, this one.
Oh, okay, got it. Yo, so this is like, it's a little photo album. I had to look for it. When you had asked me that, I'm like, what item do I take? And this was a photo album from my first radio gig in Bakersfield. And the photo right there is with DJ Quick.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And it was just cool, man, because like DJ Quick for me was one of, like, Quick is the Name was the album. And then being at the beat, Julio was playing stuff off of Rhythmalism, Safe and Sound, and I think Balance and Options had just hit. So like, and nobody else was producing and rapping that I was aware of at that time. So Quick was kind of phenomenal, and his production was crazy. I'm like, this guy is it. And so meeting him once there, and then going to Bakersfield, this is my first full-time gig, and he was doing the show. It was like, I'm kind of meeting my biggest, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that would be my fanboy moment. And then later to work with him again at a station event that I was at in the Inland Empire, to launching K-Day here in Los Angeles on the FM dial. And then having him come in and be a guest on my show was just super cool in this surreal moment of, I had just started putting interviews on YouTube. I got Quick on there. He apologized to Sugar Free and kind of squashed this moment on there. It was just I don't think I've even said this out loud, but DJ Quick has been an interesting character to my career, whether you knew that or not.
What is it about being on radio and being around these artists that you're like, I can see in your eyes and your speech now that you're passionate about it, but what is it about that that's giving you that feeling?
I'm inspired by people that do what they love and do it at a high level. I think there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's so cool for me to just geek out. Like, I've gotten to sit in rooms with producers and, you know, just kind of be the fly on the wall, if you would. But yeah, that lights me up, man. Just seeing people really do what they love, because you start seeing these things, right? Like will.i.am, getting to see him early on through friends of mine, LA Symphony, which was a hip hop crew out this way. Los Angeles, really, but early Will, you know, and the P-Pod, which was like this over here in Pasadena, downstairs at the pizza spot. It was the Dugout. And they would do underground hip hop down there. And just seeing that and being a part of that energy and seeing what it's translated to now years later.
I see. Chris, I want to get into more of what you're doing nowadays, but let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the best of us can slip up. That's why the law offices of Scott Wormuth are here to pick you back up again.
And while they strive to get you the biggest compensation possible, oh my God.
Their main concern is your health and recovery. They work closely with doctors and insurance companies to make sure you get the proper medical treatment.
Initial consultations are free, so give them a call.
At the law offices of Scott Wormuth, we're with you all the way.
I'm Scott Wormuth. We've been fighting for your rights for more than 40 years.
All right, we're back with Chris. Chris, before the break, you were sharing about what you get from seeing these people work at a very high level and are passionate about what they do. I want to get more into your story, but when we come back from the break, we like to ask questions from this deck of cards called Icebreakers.
Okay.
So it's just a fun way for people to get to know us a little bit better. I think I've answered all these questions at least once, so we're going through it again.
Love it.
But it's new for you. So, Chris, what was your first car?
89 Honda Civic.
Oh, okay. Two-door?
Four-door.
Four-door. Was it slammed?
It was. It was. I
Did that
spent a
tint
lot
the
of money.
windows?
Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course. It was navy blue interior. I had the blue interior light. I had the fog lights on the front. Oh, yeah, man. That was my baby right there.
Did you cut the springs?
Yes.
So it bounced a little bit?
A little bit.
Classic SGV car right there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think people who listen to the show know my first car was a 1986 Toyota Corolla GTS.
Okay.
It's a cult car now. It's the initial D cartoon, the drifting car. Sadly, my mom sold it when I was in Germany. Yeah, you cannot buy a chassis of that car with no engine and no interior for like $20,000.
Dang.
I'm still sad about that.
SUV car too.
Was that? Yeah,
That's
it is.
an SUV car. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But the 4-door slammed Accord is too.
The Civic. I couldn't get the Accord. I did. I had a friend with the Accord. He had like a 91 Accord.
Okay.
I wanted the Accord just because I'm tall. But that's why I had to get the 4-door so you could lean the seat all the way back.
Oh yeah. Do you still have that car?
No.
Oh man, isn't that sad?
I lost it in Bakersfield because the blue smoke and the whole 9 out the back. It gave me a good life, man. It gave me a good life.
Okay. Well, if you're watching or listening online, what was your first car? Let us know in the comments. Well, back to your story now, Chris. I have some questions for you, though. What's one thing people completely misunderstand about working in radio or music?
In radio, that we are only there for the 4 hours that we're on the air. People are like, oh, we only work 4 hours a day. Like, man, what? Like, there's so much prep that goes in before that. And again, like, I was doing music radio, not news or, you know what I mean, which is even more prep for that, or talk radio. But it's like, we got to be aware of the music, what we're talking about, at least if you want to be good at your job.
Sure.
There's that part. Or sometimes a lot of the times I was like a music director or program director or production director and on air. So that's like kind of 2 jobs at once. So while my show might have been in the afternoons, I've literally done every day part from morning till overnight, so I've done all of them, but there's so much more work that goes into it than just the 4 hours you're on.
Sure. It's just like here, it's a 1 hour show.
Right.
You've interviewed some of the biggest names in music and sports. Can you share a moment from one of those interviews that left a lasting impression on you? Something personal, surprising, or emotional?
Jim Brown at K-Day. Interviewing him and realizing that he wasn't just this Hall of Fame football player, but there was so much more to him and the things that he cared about, the social causes that were important to him. Like, it gave me a different understanding and just like a vastness of depth that these celebrities we think we know, it's just, we just get to know whatever is shared. And that was, I think, a very eye-opening moment for me, having that conversation. And he's such a wise, just very incredible human being.
You've lived through radio's transformation, pre-digital to digital to YouTube. What's the story that captures how you stayed ahead of the curve while others were getting left behind?
Curiosity. I always was like, when I listened to the radio, my thoughts were like, what does it look like in there? What are they doing? And so my buddy Reggie had a camera and he was like, I'll shoot it and do the video and we'll put it on YouTube. And you could just promote it on your MySpace page.
MySpace.
Right? So that was it. It was just like, how can we give this peek of what's going on in here and then do it there? And like, Somaya Reese, my friend, I love Somaya. So she was the model on MySpace at that time that was just doing her thing. And I'm like, yo, can we have a conversation? Boom, boom, boom. And that was like my first 1 million view video, was just that. And it got weird because then they're like, the radio station was like, what are you up to and doing? And I'm like, I'm putting the logo everywhere. This is good for y'all. They didn't get it, but yeah, man, I thought it would be cool. And it's interesting hearing people, peers of mine that were in radio also like, man, I was watching everything that you're putting up because nobody else was, there were no other radio interviews on YouTube at that time. And I love that it's like a norm now, because I feel like that's, and even for you, like with the podcast, like you could do audio, but like people want to see.
Yeah.
Really want to see that. So
People always trip out too when they come in here because like they only see it mostly on Instagram, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was me.
And then when they come in there, they're like, oh, this is what it looks like behind the scenes.
Hey, this is a nice setup you got, Russell. This is a really cool, like, you representing the SGV well, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, one of the questions I had for you when we first spoke was like, I don't actually understand what it is that you do. Because I see you on all kinds of stuff, and I see clips of like what looks like a podcast, but you're into music and like radio. Like, so can you describe what it is that you do?
Yeah. So my day gig, I still get to work in the music industry as an exec, but I love that I'm allowed now to kind of just figure out what it is I do. I love serving the community, man. I love being back in Monrovia. So like, I think this is just a cool full circle moment for me in my life of like being out doing radio in LA, San Diego, other spaces, right? And now I'm back home and we've got a local television network, a public access network that people can access, but nobody knows about that. So it's like, how can we grow that? Like we're in a moment where I think local information is super important, like to be able to hear from like neighbors. So doing that, I've worked with young people forever, man, just because being a radio guy, you're kind of the cool guy, which I never was, so I'm like, oh, they'll listen to me. Oh yeah, Chris, you taught that. So getting to go and pour into young people now and encourage them, where I wish I could have had a radio dude come and talk to me in high school. Like we only had like firefighters and I can't even think of the other people. Cop, Suits. I remember Suits, right? I don't remember like any other careers and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well, now if I'm the cool guy that's on the radio, I'd love to share with these young people, So pouring into them. I Dream Society was an org started with my friend Monique and Jay, and we've been doing that for young people. Dream Chasers Career Day came out of that, where we're just exposing teens to other careers that are creative, right? Like photographers and directors, skaters. There's so many other careers and there's so many fields within that. Like if you don't get to the NBA, you can still do Instagram for the NBA or TikTok or YouTube or, right? Like there's so many layers to it. And so I love doing that. I love being involved in the community at KGEM Television now and just being the community coordinator over there, connecting community into that space, putting events together in the city now, bringing it kind of to a space called Community Reimagined, which is a nonprofit we're currently putting together. We do House Party at the Park, which is an event. It's kind of like a reunion at a park, but you remember House Party, the movies. Mm-hmm. It's a good time. So we kind of all grew up in that era. Do it at a park so we can all hang out, reconnect, honor people. There's so many people that meant things to the community. So we have people nominate folks that impacted them. We honor and recognize them at the event. So we're doing that. We do city council recaps at KGEM, basically making those long, boring city council meetings a 30-minute dive that people can get a bit of the information out of. So that's what we're doing now, man. It's just kind of trying to reimagine community and build things and do things that bring people together.
I can absolutely see the connection there with like introducing young people to possibilities and, how that was introduced to you and how that changed your life. It's probably true that there's a job for anything and everything you want to do.
Absolutely.
But in our growing up, you didn't see it all on Instagram. You just saw the people coming in the classroom and you're like, oh, doctor, lawyer, cop, firefighter.
Yeah.
And literally there's a person whose like job is to refine gold.
Right.
Like that's their job. And they can make it cool on Instagram. And I'm like, what? It's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the jobs you don't know about, right? Like, and I still love that. I still love geeking out. Like I love Instagram for that, like discovering stuff like, what? They do this.
I probably would have been a Japanese carpenter, a joinery carpenter, building houses like with just joinery and carpentry, and a bonsai creator. That's what I would have been. Something that I could be outdoors, being creative, using my hands. If someone would have talked to me and said, "What are the things that like interest you and, like figure that out? Yeah.
Awareness, right? Like we didn't have so much access visibly. We had the library, but these are books and they're a little bit dated. They're not all current of the moment. And I'm a visual guy, so when if I could see it, it just becomes that much realer to me.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, your work with KGEM-TV and community programming feels so intentional. Was there a moment where you saw it really click that what you were doing was actually shifting people and how they engaged locally?
Man, I didn't want to do it, Russell. I didn't want to do it at all because I did radio, but you're kind of behind the scenes on radio. Putting it up on YouTube made it different, right? And gave it a visual piece, but I didn't think I was a TV host. I'm still like a shy dude inside. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't really like to be out that much and out there like that. But it was seeing, so we had like a very poor voter turnout a few elections back or a couple elections back. And we got about 36-something thousand people in Monrovia. And it was like a 3,500 voter turnout, which felt weird to me. I'm not the greatest at math, but I'm like, doesn't seem right. And so seeing and then trying to learn and watching these city council meetings, I'm like, oh, no wonder. Like, this is a lot on a Tuesday night to sit for 3 hours or 5 hours and watch this. So it was like, how do we make this information better? So it was like, all right, well, if we could have a few people, 3 of us, sit at a table after watching the meeting and just kind of go through it in a better way. That was what it was, to maybe this will help people get engaged. And seeing, I think it was closer to 10,000 people on the next voting cycle.
More than double.
Yeah, that was cool, man. And it definitely felt for me personally like this is what I'd like to spend more time doing, is getting community involved, because from a national level things feel way too intimidating and like I don't know what kind of impact I can make on that. But if we can do things locally that can be done simply and impact profoundly and then be duplicated, maybe that can be a good ripple that goes out.
Yeah, indeed. You get something from seeing people really passionate and performing what they do at a very high level. And it took you some time to get there to find that for yourself. If you can go back to a younger version of you, or even speak to kids at that age, what is your message for them in terms of, finding what that is?
Figure out what you love to do and be great at it. That's really it. Like, there's money there. There's everything will kind of work out. You gotta do what you love. Like, it was, I can only say that now after reflecting and being like, I tried business and finance. I tried graphic. I was just trying things. I didn't really love it like that. I liked it. It seemed cool. It seemed like it would make money, right? Like in when you don't have, you're just trying to figure out, how do I make money? And so I didn't spend enough time thinking about, what do you really love to do? And I would share that. Like, if you can really figure out what you love to do and just do it really well, I think great things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Of course, we're going to move on to the final segment of the show where we get to talk about your favorite places to eat in the San Gabriel Valley. So, Chris, this is the SGV3, and we ask you to take on the dubious task of narrowing all this great food into just 3 places. So, what would be your first place?
Russell, let me first say this was a tough question. When I got this email, I was like, 3? I mean, I'm a fan of the top 3, but this is hard, like, as someone who appreciates food. So I did think about it for a bit. I'll say, like, my cafe that's like tucked away in the city of Duarte is J&A Cafe. Have you gotten to experience it? J&A is great. It's like that just great omelet breakfast sandwich. They close by 2, so it's one of those spots, right? You got to get there early. Forget about it on the weekends. It's pretty hectic. You can get there, but it's hectic. Food is great, and it's just you feel like family there. Shout out to Judy and the waitress staff. Like, great people, great food. J&A Cafe in Duarte.
Okay. What do you like to get there?
I kind of go between a few things. I'll go with like the mushroom and Swiss omelet. I might go with the breakfast sandwich. If I'm really hungry, the breakfast burrito is fire. The tuna melt. I could pretty much name quite a few things. The breakfast quesadilla. There's a lot of stuff on that menu.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Number 2, so like no random order, I guess, right? So we just coming up with 3. I'm gonna say, so I'm a big fan. Do you enjoy chilaquiles?
I wouldn't go out of my way to get them, but if they're on the menu and they're good, I'm gonna get it.
Okay, it's one of those I'm a breakfast fan, so like, yeah, I'm a real breakfast brunch type of guy, and so Girasol in Monrovia. Those chilaquiles might have changed my life. They're good. It's so good. And they're fairly new. They haven't been around for that long, but I had to put them in my top 3 because I've had chilaquiles at a few different places. It's hard to have it at other places now after going there. So Girasol.
I think it's pronounced Girasol.
Is it?
Yes. We've had Jaime and Maria Elena here on the show, and they are part of our MySGB Food Passport. So don't forget, you can get the MySGB Food Passport online, and they have generously donated buy one chilaquiles trio, get one free.
What?
In the passport.
Girasol. So I got that. And where do I go for the coupon?
I'm not sure when this is going to be coming out.
Okay.
The passport will still be valid. So if you haven't got one yet, go get one.
Okay.
In 5 years, we've had 35 restaurant guests on this show, and that's a wonderful blessing for us, right? And I can text them on my phone and say, "Hey, can we meet?" And I had this one-on-one again with them,
I love it.
because we've had this conversation, and they have generously contributed, not discounts, not 10%, 15, 20% off. All 28 participants in our passport are all deals and freebies. And so Girasol is one of them, right? And so their deal is buy the chilaquiles trio, get one free.
Love it.
And I think that's like a $22 value.
Yeah. And thank you for getting the name right. As Chris Loos, who always gets my last name butchered, I appreciate you. Girasol, I'm going to definitely get that right next time.
Yes, I think it means sunflower. I think so. So you can see that their logo.
And it's beautiful inside there too, man. The ambiance is just really nice and the food is great.
And they own Baja Cali.
Next door, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And there's 6 locations of them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And Baja Cali's great too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's good.
Did you get the pork belly with the guacamole there at Girasol? Oh, no, you don't eat pork.
Yeah, I don't eat pork. But yeah.
Oh, yes, the chilaquiles are nice though.
Chilaquiles are fire. Yeah. And my third, Merengue Bakery and Cafe.
Okay.
So that's right there on Myrtle Street, Old Town Monrovia. They got, if you're hungry, you can grab a sandwich, a salad, some food over there. They have the Cuban sandwich, if that's a thing. I've heard great things about that. But their baked goods, their coffee, Merengue Bakery and Cafe.
Awesome.
On Myrtle Street. That's always a good go-to.
Are you there on Friday nights on Myrtle?
Yes.
Yeah? You take your family there?
Yeah. It's a good time over there. I like the pickle vendor.
Oh, I know. They're right next to the coffee guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on our show too.
Oh, okay. And there's a Ray with the Kona Bakery. There's a lot of cool vendors on Myrtle Street, or on Friday night.
And it's nice when they've got a nice band there too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just the vibe there is it feels good. It feels like a community there.
It's fun, man. Like that's one thing I do love about being from Monrovia is like that Friday night is just kind of, you go hang out. You're going to run into a couple people you might have not seen in forever, get to catch up, but it does have a real family vibe to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate just getting to hang out and get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, man, same. I'm honored to be here and love what you're doing for the SGV, man. This is really cool, and I think this is just a great way that people can find out cool stuff going on out here.
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to get in touch with you, Chris, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, I would say Instagram, Chris Loos Media is probably the best way. I'm on there, pretty active. That's the one that I look at.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris, for being here.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Well, there you go. Another show in the books. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was fun just to chat with him and get to know him. And I shared with him over lunch that I'm really curious about what are the threads in people's lives? What are the moments that sort of shape them to who they want to be? And here you can see someone that, maybe at that young time in his life wasn't fully aware that what he wanted to do, but he was aware enough to know like this is not what he wanted to do. And sometimes it takes a lot of courage to say, hey, this is not for me. And societal pressure, parents' pressure, friends' pressure to earn money, everybody's feeling that. And, the story that I hear today and from many other guests is the passion, your drive, your what you really, really want to do is the thing that's going to make you successful in the long run. So I hope you got that or something else positive from this episode here. If you like this kind of stuff, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share. If you want to check out the full catalog of episodes, check out our website, myshtv.net. Don't forget you can pick up the MyShtv Food Passport, 28 participating restaurants. It's more than 10x the value. Go pick one up, myshtvfoodpassport.com. And until next week, we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us on the MySGV podcast. Check out more of our content on our website, mysgv.net. This show was produced by Scott Wormuth, directed by Russell Mano, edited by Victoria Allers, and original music by Yone OG. If you'd like to join us next week as we capture and share more stories from our diverse community, feel welcome.
Nice mother. No, kind of matter.